I would like to welcome onto the stage Dr. Obaidullah. He is the CEO of the Drug Regulatory Authority in Pakistan. So it's my absolute honor to welcome him onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Obaidullah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chairman PESA, Chairman PPMA, industry leaders, very distinguished experts across the globe, our federal minister, our team leader, Mustafa Kamal Saab, my DRAP colleagues, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you. Indeed, great pleasure for me to be here and talk something about regulation. So when Tokesh Saab asked me to share something about regulation, then I decided that to talk something conventional, let's talk something very specific about the theme of this PESA. So my talk is regarding navigating a Benny world through regulatory reforms. So what is Benny? Although Kaisar Saab has slightly touched the concept of Benny, but Benny is very specific to our environment. What does it mean? Benny, by and large, means Benny is not the problem of developed world. Benny is not the problem of those countries who are on track. Benny is the problem of those worlds like Pakistan and all LMICs, where you can't predict your future, where you are stuck up with such a solution, with such a problem, where you can't find any solution. So I have tried to capture that what is the actual Benny in terms of regulation and Pakistan scenario, and what is the regulatory solution in that regard. So the topic of my presentation, I will be very candid and crisp, navigating a Benny world through regulatory reforms. So I start my presentation with SDGs. We all know that there are 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal. And Pakistan being signatory, we being government are bound to provide all the resources to our public. So by and large, if we see, there are 3 or 4 SDGs which are very specific to today's event, like good health, like innovation and infrastructure, responsible consumption, and partnership in achieving goals. But if we talk very specific, then it is the point, good health and well-being, which is the responsibility of every government that we should provide good health and well-being to our people. Agar hum very specific baat karen, SDG 3.8 is very specific that provision of safe, effective, quality and affordable essential medicines and vaccine for all. And this is what Tokesh Saab also talked about. But in such a world of Bunny, where there are problems, whether government can provide these things alone, so answer will be no. Our minister, federal minister, constantly talk this about that it's not only the government, it's the all partnership society where we can do that. So in order to achieve all these things, let's a very quick review, what is the Benny and how it relates to the pharmaceutical industry. So B stands for brittle. If we see that these are our challenges where we right now. Another one is anxious, that's transparency and all the things. And then non-linear approach. And these are the problems where we can say कि कहीं पे हम जाके रुक जाते हैं, कहीं पे हमारा problem हो जाता है. We can't predict our business as well. There are some very complex problems. So these are the solutions where we are right now. These are the problems where our industry is right now revolving. And these are the Benny, basically, where we are right now. Now, what the DRAP or government of Pakistan has done in order to achieve all these things. If we see that over a period of time, we have taken multiple initiatives during the last 2 years, और इनका जो वाहिद focus था, that is to achieve the and to resolve all those issues which have bottlenecks in our system. If we see that we are working on the regulatory reforms, we are going for the digitization, we are going for the WHO accreditation, PICS, and all these things, and we are right now working for all those components which the Chairman PPMA has said, that we are talking about the export facilitation, we are talking about the pre-qualification, and the foremost project of DRAP and government is the digitization. And due to this digitization, you must admit, rather you are admitting that the timelines have been reduced. All those things for which you people are supposed to come to DRAP office, Now these are being done on one click of button, and we are moving and on and on. So these are some of the initiatives where we are right now working, and truly speaking, it can't be done alone. It starts from the top and trickle down to the bottom in the whole DRAP, and same is going on your side as well. So if we see how we can resolve all these issues, I have tried to balance out this one, but truly speaking, there are some things which is on the part of the industry, something is on the part of the regulatory authority, but tilt is more towards the industry. We can resolve all these things, like for the DRAP, we are doing the reforms, we are doing the ease of doing business. By and large, job of regulatory authority is compliance. But what I understand, that regulator without an enabling environment can't do the regulation. So we are here to do ease of doing business. We are here to provide the facilitation. We are here to provide the enabling environment with only one aim, for the implementation of regulation. Similarly, we talked much about the indigenous manufacturing of all those drugs that we are taking care of about 80% of the manufacturing we are doing, but still we are lagging behind in vaccine, active pharmaceutical ingredients, biologicals. We are still importing more than 95% of vaccine across the globe, which is a health security issue. At the same time, we are importing many biologics as well. At the same time, we need to move for the risk-based approach. DRAP is very vigorously working on the WHO PICS, ICH qualifications, and what I believe that by adopting all these things, we will partnership with you in achieving your goals, because it is the industry goal to achieve the international certification, to export the things, but it can't be alone done by the industry. Similarly, it can't be done alone by the regulatory authority. So for that purpose, we are working on that. But what are the objectives and what are the things to be done by the industry? On top of it is the compliance. Because what I understand, that regulation is guardian, not a hindrance. If you see that who is the top exporting company in Pakistan, that is the company who is the most regulated, who is the most compliant. Who is the top producing country in the world? That is, if it is the US FDA, that it means the US FDA is the most stringent regulatory authority of the world. So regulation is the guardian for the public health. Regulation is the guardian for your businesses as well. Similarly, indigenous manufacturing, we talk about Mr. Harris talked about something AI, and we are talking about still about API manufacturing. Let's talk about something very advanced therapeutics, personalized medicines, ATPs, because these are the future. International partnership, it can't be done without the technology transfer. So it is the way forward. Now, what the DRAP is doing for all these things. We are doing for the international accreditations. We are hopeful that in 2026 Q2 or Q3, we will be finally audited by the WHO for our certification of the National Regulatory Authority. And believe you me, that this certification of National Regulatory Authority will pay to you, to the industry, because it will be, right now, when you go to your doctor, you introduce new medicine. What is the first thing which you ask your doctor? That you don't ask that कि ये दवाई DRAP से approved है. सबसे पहले आप लोग ये कहते हैं that this medicine is US FDA approved. Why we are asking this? This medicine is EMA approved, because that is the reliance. That is we can say, the most stringent regulatory authority. So we are also following that one, that our regulatory authority should be internationally compliant, and we are working. Second, very importantly, from the export perspective, right now many companies are doing export, but time and again, they are waiting for the audits of those very regulatory authorities to come to Pakistan. So we are working on the PICS, and if our regulatory authority will be the PICS certified, then there will be no need of audit of your companies by 60 regulatory authorities of the world. That is the baseline, and you can export to other countries without any GMP audit, and what we believe that it will reduce the timeline for the approval of your registration application, and definitely it will impact the public health as well. Very importantly, and we discussed a lot, and I really appreciate the industry that they were partner with us in implementation of common technical document. Now, Pakistan is the country who have adopted CTD. Our registration application is being accepted across the globe. But still there are something which is lacking, and industry is facing the problem when they are exporting or they're applying for the registration. That is the common technical document, and here comes the bioequivalence. Because right now we are still not implementing bioequivalence to what is required. Now, in future, yesterday I was talking with someone that Iraq is asking for the bioequivalence, and some other countries with no regulatory framework, they are asking for the bioequivalence. So if we want to increase our export, we need to implement that bioequivalence. Another thing is quality by design. I'm very thankful to Professor Khalid. He was with us 2 days back for the very training session, and we discussed quality by design. My submission to the industry would be that when you will prepare your dossier, go by the QBD document. I will not go into detail, but it is the requirement by which you can increase your export as well. Very importantly, again, I will refer to the Harris, that he has shown one slide about the adverse drug reactions. How many people are being victim in the US FDA? 100,000 died every year due to adverse drug reaction. And then what to talk about our country where we don't have any data? And that is the point. We are continuously asking our industry to report adverse drug reaction, because हम तो एक ही बात कहते हैं कि अल्लाह की मर्जी थी. No doubt, it's the God's will that if any person died, but there must be some scientific evidence that whether this death is due to some natural cause, doctor's mistake, or it is to the adverse drug reaction. And that is one of the area. When you go for export, they ask you 3 things. One, how is your GMP? How is your registration dossier? And the last, whether do you have adverse drug reaction reporting with you or not. So if you have these 3 things, then you can go for your export. So my request will be for that adverse drug reaction reporting is very important for the purpose of accreditation. And the last point, very important from the national perspective, and that is the track and trace. Because we are working on a very fragile society. There are some reports, and it's a problem of all MIC. But whether is it possible for a regulator to go each and every shop, each and every street to check the medicine? No. It can only be resolved through technology. It is only be resolved through the technology implementation, and we are working on the 2D barcode that every one of us, every one of dear and near of us, if they go to the pharmacy and purchase any medicine, that very spot they can check whether this medicine is genuine or not, and that only can be implemented through track and trace system of the 2D barcode. So if we say what DRAP is doing only these 5 things. Our target is only and only achieve these 3 things. If we will be able to achieve all these things, so I believe that we will be able to resolve the issue highlighted by this PESA, that money problems can be resolved by adopting all these things. But now the question before you is how we can achieve this. No one organization can alone achieve this. We together can achieve all these things. So it's an African proverb, and it's very pertinent. If you want to go fast, go alone. Many companies sitting in this hall, they are doing exports, wonder in exports, but they're doing alone. But if we want that we as a nation, we as a pharmaceutical industry should promote and should go further, and we should go far as a nation, which is the target of the government, then we should go together. Let's collaborate together. Let's have a partnership in achieving your targets, because what DRAP is doing, that is doing for you. So thank you very much for